Hello, everyone. Just going to give 1 minute for individuals to join. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today's session is 2020 for Japan, student information session for the Summer Abroad program. Let's begin with the land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. My name is Lorena Autam, and I'm the Director of the Professional International Programs, including Summer Abroad here at the University of Toronto. I'm delighted to be doing this presentation today, really excited about the program, and so happy to have Bob Thompson, who's the instructor for our 2024 Summer Abroad for Japan. So without further ado, let's look at the agenda that we have in mind for you today. I'll start with a quick overview of Summer Abroad, especially for those who may be still wondering, what is this program? What are the details? Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. We'll also then have an opportunity to dive a little bit deeper into Japan. It's new, exciting, so we'll tell you all about it. And also at the end, I'm going to walk you through eligibility, applying, next steps as well. If you do have a question during the presentation, do use the Q&A function, the tool that is on Zoom on this webinar. Type it in. I'm joined today also with my colleague, Joe, who's at the background helping, and he'll ensure if you have any questions, he'll be able to address them as well and help you along. Please note this session is being recorded today, so don't feel that you have to take notes. We will be sharing this video with all on the Summer Abroad website. So take a step back and enjoy. So for those who are wondering, what's Summer Abroad? We're really excited. This program is 52 years in the making, and we've had over 20,000 students participate in this program over the 52 years. So we are in good hands. For 2024, we are delighted to offer over 30 plus courses across 17 different international locations. So we are really hoping to have a destination that matches your own very unique objectives. There is an incredible experience that awaits you. You are able to earn 1.0 full arts and science UFT degree credit in 4 weeks. Please note, these are not transfer credits. These are UFT degree credits and UFT grades, and you're able to apply that towards your UFT degree. You can select a destination that matches your interest, and you're going to be taught by our awesome Summer Abroad instructors. And in some cases, you'll also be joined and have guest speakers that are from that particular region. For some students, you could use a Summer Abroad credit to fulfill program requirement, breadth requirement, distribution requirements as well. If you're curious how they apply, do visit our website for additional information. The class sizes tend to be very, very small compared to some of our other UFT courses. So make the most of it. Our courses are also fully put together as an all-inclusive summer study abroad option. That means we are curating these destinations really, really carefully. We want to make sure you're immersed in an environment where you're going to be able to take that location, make it your living classroom. You'll have access to on-site non-academic support as well. And we will also make sure you're fully prepared before your departure. We have a pre-departure orientation. We'll also walk you through the safety abroad modules, etc. Why study abroad? The benefits are absolutely astounding, and there's so many studies out there that really show that students who've done a summer abroad experience had found it very impactful and rewarding in so many different ways. As I mentioned, you actually gain a full credit condensed in 4 weeks. You're able to focus on one course exclusively. That means you're able to dive a bit deeper. You have the professor with you. So if you have questions, they can actually guide you along the way, and they're experts in that subject matter alone. And they're there because they want to be there and want to really show and broaden that topic with you. The field trips are also designed to make sure that you're actually traveling and being part of that curriculum and learning with your peers around the location. You have an opportunity to build and develop your professional network, explore possibilities. Maybe you're thinking about doing grad studies at a particular location. Maybe you've always wanted to study there for future years, but you weren't sure. This is a perfect opportunity to just explore that. And personal development, I cannot stress this enough. You truly make lifelong friends. We've had a number of our summer abroad participants come back to us as alums over and over the last couple of years. And they've shared that this has been one of the most enriching academic experience, but also so rewarding because they made friendships that lasted much beyond their graduation. I've had colleagues who've done it as part of their undergraduate degree, and they say they're still friends with those they met during summer abroad. So that to us really makes it one of the best programs that we have available to you as part of your summer program. You be more adaptable, gain communication skills, and also a whole round of benefits that's not only recognized on campus, but also by employers. They also are able to see how this sets you apart. And we've had many studies that actually have stats and numbers to demonstrate that employers would actually prefer students who've done study abroad, a summer abroad at an international location because it reflects on your adaptability and intercultural competencies. You want to be a global citizen? Then here are the eligibility requirements for summer abroad. This is open to UFT students, must be in good academic standing. You must have completed one or more courses with a minimum CGPA of 1.75 at the time of application. If you're a first year student, don't worry about it. You're still able to apply. We would be looking at your grades from your fall term. This course is also open to UFT students in professional faculty, graduate programs, and it's also open to students coming from Scarborough and Mississauga campus. If you're an alum and non-degree, there's a pathway to apply as well. If you have questions, just reach out to our office. We'll guide you through the application. If you have friends at other North American universities, did you know that's also open to them? If you do have a chance and you know somebody who maybe would like to travel with you and take this course with you, they could actually request for a letter of permission and apply for this as well. So we've talked a little bit about our summer abroad broadly and in general. Let's focus a little bit about Japan. We're excited. This is going to be the first time we are going to be offering the Japan Summer Abroad in the greater Tokyo region for 2024. It's an exciting location. There's so much interest right now in Japan, and this is a perfect time to present this to our students, and we hope you'll be able to engage in it. The classes would be small, up to 25 students. The course dates or the program dates would be May 1st to June 8th, 4 weeks. Students would be taking an industrial relations human resource course, and we'll talk a little bit about the academics in a few minutes. Classes would be Mondays to Fridays, 8:45 to 12 p.m. Do note that there would be field trips as well. There are also going to be mandatory field trips included, and I'm going to explain that In summer abroad, attendance is mandatory for lectures and also on field trips, just so you can make the most of your experience together. Program activities would involve tours, welcome farewell dinners. We've planned that around the content. The classes are going to be based at Keio University, an awesome partner we've known over a number of years. It is going to be at the Hiyoshi campus, and accommodations would be very close to the classroom and would be arranged through the University of Toronto for our students participating. For those who are not very familiar with the Greater Toronto Area, I did want to share a map. It's got a little bit of view on the Keio University Hiyoshi campus, so you can just have that visual in mind. And to the right, you'll see that it's actually very close to the Haneda Airport. So if you were kind of wondering where it is in terms of location, here is a quick view, and here's the big zoomed out map of Japan. For those who may be wondering what exactly is the Greater Toronto Area, it's a vibrant metropolis, much diverse, very culturally diverse, with lots of options for food and very rich in history. It's a very extremely dynamic environment because you'll see the differences around you. You've got a history on one side, cutting edge technology on the other side. It's a wonderful area. I actually joke our students are going to go from one GTA to another GTA. So from Toronto area to the Greater Toronto region. So without further ado, I would like to invite instructor Bob Thompson to tell you a little bit more about this course, IRE 332Y0, Resolving Workplace Conflict While Employing a Cross-Cultural Perspective. So Bob, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Lorraine. And hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I understand we're recording as well so that others will get a chance to look at this in the future. And as Lorraine described, the instructors are super excited about providing these. And I know I've had a chance to do one last year in England, but this one, I mean, I can hardly contain myself to be able to get a chance to spend a month in Japan exploring it with eager students that want to have a lot of fun, but also get something out of the experience. And I think I've come up with a course that's going to help us do that. And so, as you know, my name's Bob, and you can take a look at my background, but I'll tell you quickly that I am a lawyer and I'm an HR professional, and I've been teaching at different places, but at U of T for 15 or 16 years, mostly master's students, but now more recently undergrad students. And I guess I feel like I won the lottery because I love doing it so much. But my favorite thing is to get connected with students and help them, not just in the course, but map out their future and get support to think of their next studies or where their opportunities are going. And this, I find in this experience, because you get to spend a lot more time together, I get a better chance to, be helpful. And that's rewarding for me. So this particular trip has been curated for a while. Lorraine and I have been talking about it for over a year. And as you can see, I have been to Japan, and I'm not exactly sure how many times, but it might be 12 or it might be 13. I'm not trying to say that I'm a Japan expert because I'm not. I certainly have been there a number of short times. I've not immersed myself in Japan, but I'm immersed in the Japanese culture because my family members are Japanese. I don't speak the language except for maybe at the level that maybe a 2-year-old might, because I was learning with my family at a time, but I couldn't learn as fast. So I know a few words. I know what's important in the culture, and I know that there's so much for us to learn together as we travel around. So in these photos that you're seeing here, you can see the Asakusa Temple in the first top corner. That's one of the first stops we'll make thanks to Summer Abroad. They're already planned that first trip for us in the beginning of our week number 1. It's an important destination, and we're going to immerse ourselves there. But also in the photo, you can see me. I like to rent a bike and ride around the rivers. That's something I enjoy. I also eat a lot, so there's a breakfast. I think I got a really good deal on that all-you-can-eat breakfast. And then you see me in front of Skytree. In the top corner, you see me at a milk bar. That's they have milk at this place near the subway from all of the different regions, every milk that's available from all farms around Japan. And I enjoy trying to surprise the person serving it because you have to drink it as you stand there. And I can drink 7 to 10 of them. And anyway, I get a lot of reaction. But anyway, the point is, there's a lot of living that can be done in Japan, not just the tourist stuff, but the experiences. And that's what I want to have. And I want to analyze it together because although I'm not an expert of Japan, I am an expert of workplace conflict and how to resolve it. So that's what I'm going to do with this course. I'm going to get us to think about Asian or cultural issues, and in particular Japan, and how they will work in an industrial relations or HR environment, using those techniques or at least understanding them in other people and being able to resolve conflict. So that's the course I'm creating. Probably I do a really good job of simulations and we'll learn our skills together. And as you can see in the course itself, no prerequisites required, just eagerness would be nice. And we're looking at the society itself and some institutions within it, like governance, the law, and maybe we're going to actually visit the parliament. We hope if we can manage it. So there'll be a number of trips that we do, some museums. I want to take a look at a very representative film that'll show us the culture, and you can see the tea ceremony experience, the tranquility of it, and the respect of it. We want to bring to the forefront. So these are the kinds of things we'll emphasize. You can see the description in the top right corner of IRE 332Y0. And ultimately, it's intended to have a number of features. And the way I sort of assess you is in increments. I'd say small assignments at the beginning, and then I wouldn't call it a major, but a significant paper at the end where you can sort of synthesize all that you've learned and talk about how you see your experience showing you how, new ways that you can resolve conflict. And spoiler alert, one of my favorite things to study is apologies in the workplace and workplace conflict. And I think the Japanese have perfected how to apologize, and we'll learn how to do it too, or how to accept an apology. Well, that's the kind of learning we'll do. And I think there's one more slide, Lorraine, maybe, that I just for fun, I thought I'd show you the things I like to do in Tokyo. So, as I mentioned, there's a lot of consumption in terms of treats and experiences, but I listed these 10 things. At a typical family restaurant, you can get all you can drink soft drinks and coffee and tea. You can experiment with them. It's actually kind of cool. And it usually costs a couple dollars. I have, through my family members, local friends and relatives, and there's certain traditions, as you would understand, that we engage in. Some of them solemn, obviously, but some of them important. And I find that connects me much more to the culture. I like you'll notice, you probably know this already, when you travel, especially in that direction, you get very hungry in the morning. And that's one of my favorite things to do. You wake up around 4 or 5 a.m. and you find an all you can eat or a late night place to enjoy food. I like buying old used items, or actually unused items, but they're in secondhand stores, really good bargains there. People watching from the second floor of a major intersection, just so many people movements. The sushi train or the conveyor belt sushi restaurants, you order so much that you can stack plates. As I mentioned, I like to cycle along the riverbanks, and driving in Japan is kind of interesting through the rice paddies and in the I don't know, the beautiful countryside. And we'll see a bit of that hopefully on one or two of our trips. And that milk bottle issue, I know I pointed out that's one of my favorite things to do. And and I find, well, here's a trick that I do. And if in my photos, you might see I'm wearing kind of older clothing because I take my oldest clothing to Japan so that I can throw it out there and buy new clothing, and I have room in my suitcase to bring it back. So I find that there's actually a fair bit of, I don't know, interaction, as you would probably know, more than just the actual tourist stops. And you'll probably pick up on a few of these tricks and tell me some of yours as well. All this to say that you go on this trip, as Lorraine was saying, and it's thanks to her that we're getting this excellent KO University site. But you go on it and it'll change you and you'll reflect on it for years to come. And I'm asking you to do that with me if you'd like to take the course. Thanks, Lorraine. Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. I thank you so much for the overview on the course and a really deep respect to all our summer abroad instructors and also Bob for taking time during summer and spending it with our students and making our summer abroad programs the success it now is. we honestly could not do it without our professors. And Bob's amazing. Professor Thompson was in Canterbury last summer and was an amazingly successful program. And we are really fortunate to have Bob with us doing the Japan program. And if you've noticed, Bob's also doing Canterbury as well. So let's talk a little bit about the Japan program. As I mentioned, the classes are going to be based at Keio University Hiroshi campus. You have access to their facilities. We think it's very important for you to be able to have exposure there. And the accommodation would be at a hotel that's going to be very close by to the classroom. We've arranged for an on-site coordinator who's going to be available and would be staying with the students at the hotel as well. This allows you to have emergency contact if you need to do so 24 hours. And they would also be able to help you liaison with the university there, with faculty member, also just the environment around you if you need assistance while you're there. And don't worry, we have program activities that will help you immerse yourself seamlessly into that environment. So it doesn't matter if this is your first time traveling to Japan, or maybe it's your fourth time going back. You'll find that you will find this trip extremely unique. You're traveling with your peers, you're traveling with a U of T professor, you're interacting with the environment around you, learning as you go, and over the 4 weeks, there's going to be memorable memories that you would have created and definitely stories to share upon your return. For those who are curious about accommodations, as I mentioned, we have made arrangements where students would stay very close to the classroom and also very close to public transportation. Public transportation is very easy to navigate in the Greater Toronto area, and we'll walk those who are admitted into the program through the process. The accommodation is single room with essential amenities, including Wi-Fi. I've included a picture, but please note this is only for reference purposes. Your actual room may look very different based on the one that's assigned to you upon admission. The location we've selected is close to amenities, also city attractions, shopping areas, restaurants, cafes, markets as well. Breakfast is included in the accommodation, so you definitely have that taken care of. In addition, students are expected to budget approximately 700 Canadian dollars for lunches and dinner. It is an approximation because the amount would really depend on your lunch choices and dinner choices. For the transportation in terms of flight, there is no group flight. However, we will be providing you with recommended flight details once you're admitted. We've done that because students have actually asked us to provide this flexibility to you. This allows you to make your own arrangement. Maybe you're traveling from a different country and then would be navigating your way to Japan. Or maybe you are really, really creative, as I know some students are, and you were able to find really affordable deals on a particular website. So the choice is yours. We just asked the students to meet in Japan on May 11th. We'll give you more details once you're admitted. And we would then make sure all students are together and you're embarking on that awesome journey during the summer. Transportation between the hotel and the classrooms would be through public transportation, and those would also be something we'll share once you're admitted as well. Before you apply, we do ask students to please review COVID-19 planning pages and go through travel checklists through important information, just good to prepare yourself before you start traveling. Always stay updated on COVID-19 vaccinations and review information on prevention and risk as provided by the Government of Canada. If you need additional information, there is an FAQ section on the Summer Abroad website. You can review it, and if you have questions, always encouraging you to come to our Summer Abroad office, and we'll be happy to assist. Summer Abroad is committed to equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. We want to make sure that all participants feel welcome and they are able to participate as they see fit in these learning abroad opportunities and activities. We have EDIA resources that are listed on our website. If you do have additional questions, we also have a program coordinator on diversity and inclusion who is going to be able to meet with you virtually or in person and walk you through your questions and needs. But those who are registered with accessibility services or who require accommodation, we encourage students to approach our office as early as possible so we can discuss with you the sites that would work best and would make sure that you are able to have the best possible summer experience. Letters of accommodations would be uploaded on our website within 7 days after you're admitted. So we want to be letting you know about this particular information. And please note that the range of accommodation may differ from country to country. We can't guarantee that each site will be able to offer the exact same accommodation as you currently receive at GFT, but we'll definitely make sure we are able to walk you through your options and guide you through your decision making. In case you would like to talk to somebody a bit more on next steps around equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility, I encourage you to sign up for this workshop. It's happening tomorrow. We've inserted a QR code here so you can take a picture. It links you to the registration for this particular workshop, and you'll be able to explore in more details the EDIA resources that will help you make an informed decision regarding this particular summer. And the session is virtual, so you can be part of it at any point, depending on your schedule tomorrow. So you've learned all about summer abroad and you've heard a little bit about Japan. How do you apply? Well, our applications are already live. I really hope those who are joining us today on this session, you've started your application already. If you haven't, please go to our Summer Abroad website and start your account, create a profile, and explore our different options. Our application deadline is February 1st at 5 p.m. Participants are selected on a set of criteria, so it's not a first come, first serve basis. We would be reviewing all applications on academic suitability. So tell us more about you, why you're interested in Japan, why this course is something you want to do this summer. We want to really hear you and understand your needs. So make that personal statement the best one possible. There are a couple of questions we ask in the application as well, so don't ignore them. Don't put one-liners, please. Put a little bit more detail into it because we do review your applications thoroughly and we want to make sure that we are matching you to a location that best fits you. The application fee is $205. If for any reason we are not able to select you for the program, for a Japan program, we would refund the application fees back to you. If you're thinking about applying to multiple programs, you can submit two separate summer abroad applications, one for Japan, one for a second location. So for any reason we are not able to offer you a spot in Japan, you would definitely be able to consider you for the second location and alternative offer something that works for you for the summer. If you are offered a Summer Abroad Award, and I'll talk a little bit about funding in a bit, and unfortunately you're not able to accept it and you withdraw, please note we would not be able to refund in that case. So a little bit more about the application. If you just started a Summer Abroad application, this is a little bit of a screenshot, a preview on what it would look like. Once you log into the portal, you'll see application, and it'll really guide you through the different steps. It's really straightforward. There is program and course selection, accommodation, travel, etc. And every time you actually complete a section, it'll have a checkbox to indicate that you've completed it and guides you through next steps. Once the application with the application fee is submitted, decisions would be released to all applicants by late February to early March. We'll really try to get decisions out to students as quickly as possible. Admission for on-site summer abroad is conditional upon Government of Canada allowing travel outside Canada. If you are able to accept, you will have 1 week to confirm participation by reserving a spot, and you do that by putting in the non-refundable deposit of $1,000. If you decline an offer and you don't have a financial aid award request in place, you will not get your application fee back. We're just mindful, we want to be fair to others who are really looking to participate in the particular program. Remaining fees for Japan specifically is due on March the 27th. Please note remaining fees deadline to differ based on your destination. So for those who are interested in the cost components, I would like to explore this with you a bit more. Summer abroad fees are divided into two categories. One, fees paid to the University of Toronto as part of summer abroad fees. This includes the application fee, course fee, incidentals, field trips, and accommodation. That's why we call it an all-inclusive package. Do note the fee slightly differs between domestic and international students. And at the bottom, just to clarify, I did want to make a note that the second component would be additional costs. Additional cost refers to airfares, meals, local transportation, insurance, etc. We've included estimates for you for your planning purposes, but the estimates are normally really a range. Some students would want to travel economy, so your cost might be a little bit lower. Others may want a kind of a different level of travel, so their costs might differ as well. And similar thing with meals. It really depends on your choices, but we include the amount so you're able to plan around finances. I know summer abroad sometimes can be considered quite an investment. So we want to talk to students about financial resources that's available to all our summer abroad students. We have financial aid for students, and one of the awards through summer abroad is the needs-based or financial needs-based awards. This is integrated with your summer abroad application. So once you've actually completed your Japan program application, right at the end, it'll actually ask you a question. Would you like to apply for funding? If you click yes and you need financial aid, the bursary or financial aid application will automatically open up for you and it'll walk you through the next steps. So please note, if you're a domestic student, if you're a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, protected person, and you meet the award criteria that's listed on the right-hand side, if you have financial need, I strongly encourage you to submit the Summer Abroad Financial Need application. So you must be also a UFT undergraduate student for this particular award, completed at least 4.0 UFT credits by December, CGPA of at least 2.25, and must have documented financial need. By documented financial need, we refer to documentation that would help us understand your financial situation. For some students, it would be an OSAP assessment. If you currently receive full-time OSAP, for example, just upload your OSAP assessment. Others might be receiving BC loans, Alberta grants, so those assessments are okay as well. If you're receiving any kind of government funding or documentation, we accept those. In others, for students, sometimes would upload their personal or their family income tax returns to demonstrate financial needs, and we accepted that. The documentation usually differs based on your personal situation. If you're selected for an award, then this particular award amount gets applied directly towards the cost of your program, and you get an email notification of that as well. Some students ask about our merit-based awards, so I would like to cover that as well. I would like to flag that the merit-based awards tend to be a bit more limited in terms of the number of awards we can grant based on merit and also the award amount. But you're absolutely welcome to apply. The merit-based award is a supplemental application, slightly different. Once you've completed your Japan application, go back on the portal and you'll notice a tab that says search for bursaries. And you'll notice there is a separate application, a supplemental one called merit-based award application. It's open to all GFT undergraduate students who've completed at least 4.0 by December and a CGPA of 2.25. However, this is the minimum eligibility requirement. In terms of merit-based awards, we're not just looking for academic grades. We're looking for somebody who's done a number of other types of maybe non-academic initiatives. So we love the opportunity to recognize our awesome students out there who've maybe led a specific program, launched initiatives, had an impact on your community. If you've been engaging in these activities while being an undergraduate student, tell us about it, and we would like to recognize you through these merit-based awards. So a little bit more on funding. I happened to do a session last week on financing a summer abroad. If you didn't get a chance, I encourage you to view the video. If you go back on our website under the financial aid tab, if you click on it, you'll notice the recording is posted. But here's a little bit of a sneak preview if you missed the session. I truly encourage students to think about finances in different ways. If you are thinking and worried a little bit about funding your opportunity abroad, don't rely on one funding source. Think about the various ones that are available to you. So look into government aid. Other students have been able to save from their part-time employment through work-study programs. Others may be able to access RESPs or contribution from family members. Last but not least, as I mentioned before, there are multiple diverse UFT student awards that are available to you. Make sure that you're exploring all options and don't just apply for one. Note that you can access all these funds by combining different types of funding. So you can apply for awards at the University of Toronto Summer Abroad office. You can also apply for awards that are offered through your faculty, division, college, department, and also from the Center for International Experience. CIE offers an International Experience Award Plus. More details on our website. If you haven't really looked into it, definitely encourage you to do so. They've been really generous, and our students have received awards through CIE in the past, and I hope you would be able to consider those as well. So start budgeting now. Final payments are due on March the 27th for the full program fees. If you haven't done so, like I mentioned, check the registrar's office and other units for additional funding and bursaries. For those who do receive a full-time OSAP, do note the OSAP fund for summer usually is not released until close to the start of the program, and you cannot defer your fees, so plan accordingly. And here's a little bit of more information about the international experience, IE Award Plus. And on the website, you'll note they say maximum of $8,000 depending on your locations, etc. Over 2 years is generally awarded by CIE. And you haven't watched the video on our website. So let's talk a little bit about maybe travel details. Responsibility around travel documentation would be with the student, and your travel documentation that would be required would depend on the passport you would use to travel to Japan. For Japan, Canadian citizens usually would require a passport valid for the duration of your stay. If you have a non-Canadian passport, then please check with the embassy or consulate for the up-to-date requirement. Summer Abroad will provide supporting documentation to international students who need to request for a visa. Once you admit it, we will be able to issue you a letter. You would use that as part of your tourist visa submission. If possible, we encourage you to apply for your travel documentation from Toronto. That would help us provide you with the appropriate support, and we'll also be able to guide you through questions if you have any. Always remember to review terms and conditions of travel, health, flight insurance, and also look into details around cancellation insurance should you need it. I think Professor Bob Thompson referred to film a few slides back. So I do want to share we have an incredible opportunity in collaboration with our East Asian Library, and also very thankful to Professor Bob Thompson for agreeing to be part of this initiative. A film screening has been put together. So if you're on this call, it means you're curious and interested in learning more about Japan. And if you haven't seen it or you just want to watch it again, there is going to be a film screening. Movie is Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I've watched it a couple of years ago and I absolutely loved it. So if you haven't already registered for this particular film screening, I encourage you to scan the QR code, register. There is a limit on the capacity, so register as soon as possible. It's going to be a great opportunity to engage with other students who are interested in learning a little bit more about Japan. And you would also have an opportunity to interact with Professor Bob Thompson, who's going to be there. So you'll meet other students who are maybe also interested in going to Japan and also have a little bit more time with the instructor of our 2024 Japan program. So here's a timeline. Just to recap, see, we started in December, but the applications opened up. We are now in January doing all our info sessions, so you can make a selection from our list of offerings. Application deadlines February 1st. So if you haven't done so already, submit your application. Don't forget to hit submit before February 1st. Keep an eye out in your inbox, and we'll notify all our applicants on our admission notifications. And you'll have 1 week from the offer to secure a spot by putting in a deposit. After that, you would be paying your remaining fees that would be due in March for Japan. And without further ado, you will notice you'll be on your way because the Summer Abroad Japan program would be starting. You'll be doing your pre-departures, packing, and on the flight before you know it. I would like to share that we have multiple different channels that are open to our students who are engaging and connecting with us. We have the summary, which is Summer Abroad e-news. Students really enjoy it. They want to learn a little bit more about it. We have student story posted on it as well. So do subscribe if you haven't already. And on the right, you'll see a picture of our awesome Summer Abroad ambassadors. These are students who've actually traveled in our summer abroad opportunities before, and they are our summer abroad ambassadors because they want to share the experience and also tell you a little bit more about the day-to-day life as a summer abroad student. So if you haven't had a chance to drop in to our drop-in session, more information on our website, and more information on social media as well. If you haven't already done so, follow at GFT Abroad, where students post pictures, share notifications of everything, and it's awesome to just follow their journey. Here's a link to all our contact information. If you scan the QR code that's on the right-hand side, you'll see links to all our different URLs, subscription links, etc. I do hope you found the session insightful. So this does conclude the formal portion of our presentation. I do want to thank Professor Bob Thompson for being part of today's session. And at this point, what we would do is open up the floor to more questions, and we could maybe stop the recording at this point, but open the floor for more maybe informal chats.